Welcome to the Author's Corner. My name is Marisa Bludorn. I am the editor-in-chief of Own It magazine. Taking center stage and owning it with me today is many of our contributing writers. And we want to talk to you about our projects that we're working on. And we're praying that in listening to the projects that we have going on, that we will encourage you with your projects and to really help and inspire you to write your story. If you have a story to tell, we all have stories to tell. And I always share with folks that if you are an author, then you are also a speaker. And so when coaches talk to you about your book is your business, well, that's what it is. You can take your book once you've published it, and there's so much more you could do with it. And so I want to bring some exciting women on board with me this morning that are going to talk about their many projects. And they are contributing writers for the Own It magazine. Taking center stage and owning it with me is contributing writer Teresa Palmer, Jacqueline Lulu Brown, Coach Tiffany Para. And so we are excited to be with you today so that we can share some of the things that we are working on, some of our experiences while working on these projects. And this is the Author's Corner. So we're talking everything publication to creativity to, ideas that you may have. If you're sitting on the fence and you're not sure if you should publish, we hope that during this conversation that it will encourage you to have the confidence to go ahead and share your story. We all have different personalities, different perspectives, and you do too. You have your own personality, your own perspective, you have your own story that people may not benefit from us, but they would benefit from hearing from you. So don't count yourself robbery to say, who's going to listen to my story? Who wants to hear about me? Don't count yourself robbery. Your story and the glory to your story can inspire someone else. And so I want to talk, and I don't want to take up the whole, time that we're together. I want you to hear these amazing projects that each one of us is working on. And so I'm going to start with Teresa. I know, Teresa, you're working on a project. You want to share with the audience your project, some of your past publications, and just share some of your experiences.
Sure, I would love to. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Teresa Palmer, and I wrote a book called Heal Your Heart from Within. And it's a self-help book about heart health, but it's not in the way that you traditionally, it's a bridge between the science and more complementary medicine. So it's a combination of Eastern and Western medicine. And I truly believe that regardless of any condition or any situation, there's always something we can do to help ourselves. And that's what the whole book is about. It's a short book, it's written for lay people, it's a bridge between science and spirit. And that's really what I do, because my expertise is as a holistic cardiology nurse practitioner. So I bring the science, and I understand the science, and I understand the traditional care. I've been involved with it for over 30 years. But I also understand that there's a piece that I feel has been a little bit neglected in the medical profession. And that's really helping people help themselves. And by that, I mean giving them the information, giving them the tools that they could use to help themselves. And a good example is a neighbor of mine was diagnosed with a heart arrhythmia. And it was a common heart arrhythmia, but he was very, very upset and scared over it. He had seen a cardiologist, and he was given medications, and he was told what to do and what not to do. And I happened to see him one day, and he was telling me how limited he felt, that he just felt like his life was getting limited. He said, I have this. I said, yeah, it's a pretty common. And I said, there are things that you could do to help yourself out. There's breath work, there's meditation. You could even start some yoga. So I gave him a copy of my book, Heal Your Heart from Within. He read it cover to cover. He is doing so much better. And every time I see him, he thanks me and tells me, "Oh, I've told the whole neighborhood, I've told these people." It's that breathing and it's that meditation. And, I'm really helping myself and I'm back out to playing tennis and I'm doing things. And this condition that I have is only a condition. It's not a disease. It's a condition. And I work with it and it hasn't limited my life. And I'm taking a trip to Europe. It was something that he was scared to do before because he didn't understand how he could help himself. And now that he does, he's freed himself up. Has it changed his condition per se? He still has the heart arrhythmia and he still takes medication for that heart arrhythmia, but he feels a lot more comfortable with it. And it's kind of broken him free to say, I could still live my life. I could still do what I want to do because I have this extra knowledge and I have these techniques and tools that I've been given to help myself. So I really think that's what it's all about. I'm in the process of making a workbook to go with my book, Heal Your Heart from Within, because he showed me that I think a workbook is definitely necessary. And I'm also going to be doing a signature course that's going to be giving people a very broad, I enjoy videos, so most likely it'll be done live and videos to help people understand that because if they have a heart condition, then they could still do things to work with that and still use their heart on a daily basis to help them as an ally. And if they don't have a heart condition, they could tune into their heart, use their intuition, really use their heart to help them develop really and bring out the passion, the intuition that every one of us has, but sometimes it just needs to be developed because as we go from children to adults, we're conditioned to believe that the answers lie outside ourselves, that we need to ask others for help. And I'm not saying don't ask others for help, just also know that you have capacity to be the best person that you can, to use your intuition, to work with your heart as an ally, uh, to help you achieve your best life because your heart connects you to your vagus nerve, which connects you to inner peace and calm, which turns off the stress hormones. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you're going to hear all the time on Own It about self awareness, because the more that you know yourself, the more that you can trust your instincts, your intuition, the more that you know yourself. Today I was working out and I was squeezing my legs as I did my squats. I squeezed my legs. Why? I wanted to know where I was making impact. And when you squeeze your legs, you can actually feel the muscles that are moving. Where are they moving? Are they hitting the spot that I want worked out? Because if not, then I need to adjust my position. My need to adjust the weights. I need to make some adjustments. But if I'm not aware of what I'm doing, if I'm not knowledgeable of what I'm doing, then I don't know whether or not I'm making the impact. I don't know if I'm going to end up with the results. Knowledge is power. Knowledge applied is powerful. And that's what you're saying. You made him powerful. You empowered him, but you made him powerful. Powerful enough to say, I can go and get on a plane. Powerful enough to say that I can live. I don't have to live in fear. I can live in knowing. I know. And knowing builds up confidence. And trusting in yourself builds up self-confidence. And so, yeah, this is so important because we have a society that tells us to be fearful. It feeds us fear all day long. It feeds us worry all day long, so that we would be consumers of whatever products, services, and goods that are out there that are going to take care of our fear. And it doesn't. The only way that we can take care of fear is by our knowledge and self-empowerment. And so, Teresa, the work that you do is amazing. I'm glad that you're doing a workbook, because people can have knowledge, but the only way they can apply it is through instruction and teaching and methodology and practice. And so that's amazing. Love it. I say it all the time. If you write a book, then you need a workbook, right? And then if you got a workbook, you got to teach them. So you got to have a class. So, so Lulu, share with us. Thank you so much, Teresa. Share with us, Lulu. We teachers. We're teachers. You know, if you're a philosopher, then you're a teacher. If you got a story to tell, if you could talk all day, you're a teacher. So Lulu, let us hear what's going on with you. Oh, you gotta come off mute.
Okay, let's get off
Here
mute.
we go.
Okay, all righty, I'm off mute. Greetings, lady. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and I'm just always honored to be in the room with you guys. Let's see. So, things that are sort of going on are really centered around helping, whether it's writing, workbooks, retreats. I think as a women's executive leadership consultant and ICF certified coach, I'm also a ministerial counselor and an expert retreat leader. And being dedicated to guiding women through a transformative journey to heal, to refresh, so that they can actually ascend to their highest potential, a lot of that comes through writing, and writing becomes so important. One of the approaches that I love is how we have the ability to empower women to embrace their true lives and get very honest with the healing that they need and take those intentional steps. I hear Marisa talk a lot about being intentional, taking those intentional steps toward life and really living that fulfilled life. And that comes with reading, reading others' books, being an avid reader, but it also comes by writing. And I've had the benefit of being a best-selling author, co-author, and really spending time teaching and explaining the power of really freeing your soul through writing. Writing offers a pathway to a deeper self-awareness and emotional freedom. And even in the retreats, we encourage women or men to write, to provide them with a safe and a sacred space that they can express themselves. They can become very authentic so that they're empowered. You know, the word authenticity is very misused at times, because when you truly understand authenticity from the core of who you are, at that point, now you're actually discovering your genius. And when you discover your genius, all of the writing that you do, that's where that comes from. So I'm going to yield back. I have 3 tips, but I'm going to save those for the end.
That sounds good. And you're so right in regards to authenticity, is that we really, really have to come to that place where we spend time with ourselves enough. And we talked about this on It's Your Life, Own It. It's so important to spend that time with yourself, so that you know who are you really. Like, you have to know with yourself. So that's important. And I think that too often we want to put people around us very quickly. We want to make sure that people around us, and then also too, we allow people to be around us when we don't want them to be around us. When we really, really want to be alone, sometimes we allow people to invade, cross boundaries and invade our space because we don't speak up enough for ourselves. That's why they call it a midlife crisis, right? Because by the time you get to your middle of your life, you're starting to look over things and you're starting to say, what the hell? Right? What the hell? You're saying, what is going on here? I've allowed these people to invade my space. And then people think it's a crisis because now you're bucking back and you're saying, no, it's either me or you. I'm not going quietly. Some people will continue. They will become fully aware that their boundaries are being invaded, violated. But they will still allow it. They won't stand up for themselves. And that's where they come into that place of, the fraud or the phony or the mask that they're wearing, because they just don't want to lose friendships. They just don't want to lose relationships. They don't want to, ruffle anyone's feathers. But when you begin to spend more and more time with yourself, you begin to say, you get a chance to do the introspective work that's necessary for you to begin to have those tough conversations. And I believe Nathaniel said, in our live yesterday, he said, are you lying to yourself or are you telling yourself the truth? When you spend enough time with yourself, you can start really, really saying, do I want to continue to lie? Or do I want to start telling myself the truth and be free? Folks, I would recommend that you look up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because there are certain things that we need as we develop. But then we come to a place where we're either going to go quietly into the night and conform to our social group, or we're going to buck the system and we're going to reach self-actualization, which says that I'm going to be authentic to me, whatever that cost is. But most people get stuck at that conformity level where they just conform because it's easier to go quietly into the night. It's easier to go with the crowd than it is to stand out of the crowd. But I love what Dr. Seuss said. Why fit in when you were meant to stand out? And so I'm going to go and digress over to Tiffany, who is very right on point, because she's talking about being a girl powerhouse, right? And so in order for you to really walk in your authenticity, you got to be a powerhouse. You got to say, I ain't going quietly into the night. I'm going to buck the system. I'm going to trust my own instincts. And I'm going to be freed from whatever anyone else has to say to me. And I'm going to live my fulfilling life by being truly and authentic to myself. So Tiffany, talk to us about the projects, the conferences, and also too, you're transitioning over into the, you're what's next. So share, you have a lot to share. So Tiffany, go ahead and share.
Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here with you ladies this morning. It's so awesome always to just be on the platform. Yes, yes, yes. It is all about standing in your own authenticity and just shaking things up. I love to shake things up. Okay. I love to be that one. Just when you go in a room and it's quiet, like I'm the one that goes into the library and like, I don't know, I drop something just because I want people to just kind of look over here. But anyhow, we have just so many wonderful things going on in our platform. We are currently building a publishing company, Girl Powerhouse Publishing, and that really began just from putting myself around women that are showing up and showing out in life, women that can inspire me by honestly sharing their stories, because our story is not our story. Our story is someone else's story. Somebody else needs to hear it so they know that they're not alone. And that's where we developed the Becoming a Girl Powerhouse trilogy. We did 3 #1 bestsellers, 45 women showing up to share their stories of trauma to triumph. to really just give hope to those individuals out there, men and women, because we all go through stuff. Just give you hope that, hey, you know what? If we can get through it, so can you. So now we've decided, because you know what, there's a lot of anger in the world today, and we're seeing on the news, we're seeing people snapping and doing just nasty things to each other. So I have gone out and I'm actually looking for a few more authors on this one. It's called Unsnapped. We're teaching people how to tap into themselves and tell people how to stay calm, cool, and collected. There's some individuals out there that are unshakable. Why are they unshakable? Why? Because they know how to, as Teresa says, tap into the heart, right? So you can have compassion for others. Tap into the brain so you can think before you do something stupid. Okay, so unsnap means understanding necessary solutions needed to apply positive principles, ending destruction. We have to end the destruction that is going on around us. Okay, and in doing these projects, bringing people together, I've really created, I call it a project. It's not just writing a book. It is coming together with me and my team for a few months. We're going to bring some leaders in to gleam on you and love on you a bit so you can get to that next level. And then we're going to teach you, as Marisa said, when you got a story and you write it, don't just stop there. No, we got to get you on a stage as well, because we need you to shine a little bit more. We need you to be that girl powerhouse, that guy powerhouse. We need you to tap into that inner superhero so you can really make the impact out there. So we are doing that project, and we're also doing a men's and a women's conference. Our women's conference is February 22nd, 2025. It is here in California in Rancho Cucamonga. And then our first men's conference, which I am so excited about, is going to be in March 2025 as well. So come on, guys, let's go. Because look, the ladies, they showing up. Tickets are coming out. Okay. Come on, guys. Come on out here. Let's show them how we do things. So thank you so, so much again for just allowing me to take center stage with you ladies. And yes, if you would like to connect with me, to work with me on any of these projects, please connect with me and we'll give you that information before we close today. So thank you.
Awesome. That is so good. And you already know I love, listen, men are inspired by what we say as well as women. And for those who just want to service women alone, hey, great. But our men need guidance, they need support, they need empowerment, they need a space for them to be able to level up as well. And so I love it. God has always kept my heart open to the men. I remember when I started with one coach, she said, you got to focus on just one gender. And I said, when I went back to my people and started telling them, I'm going to be focusing on women and da da da, those men had a conniption. They were like, no way, Marisa, because you inspire us as well. And I've been like that, cross gender, cross generational. Young people are crazy about me because I think outside of the box. I still do cartwheels, and I'm trying to do a split. Trying to get that split back. And I'm a kid at heart. I'm very passionate, very playful. I'm very passionate about what I believe in, and how we treat each other. But I'm also passionate about staying young in my spirit because it's fun. I look at adults sometimes and I say, oh gosh, y'all are overstressed. You're serious about things you don't need to be serious about. And the things that you need to be serious about, you're not. You're foolish, you're reckless. And so I like the kids too. So I like them as well. And so cross-generational, love it. Because people just need to be inspired today. People need to have hope, need to have self-confidence. Lulu, you talked about writing is therapeutic. It is. So if you are thinking about becoming an author, you should be journaling. If you've not journaled, I remember when I was in my teens, I wrote a lot of poetry. I wrote a lot of poetry. Wondering what happened to that. I got to see if I could get that back. But I wrote a lot of poetry. I did a lot of writing as a young person. I wrote my brother when he was in the Navy, and he wrote me back. I did a lot of writing there. I did a lot of writing with my degrees. You have to do all of those papers. You got to submit all those papers, especially when you're online and getting your degree. It's a lot of writing. That's how they measure if learning has been transferred. Are you mastering the methodology, the approach? And so it is therapeutic because it helps with clarity. We were talking backstage about Chat GPT and how it is, but you have to have your own level of an ability to write too. So writing helps you process trauma. It helps you process experiences in life. So it is therapeutic. I believe that it's a double-edged sword. It cuts both directions, to the reader as well as to the writer, the author. Reading the books of others, you also find yourself in others, right? So when you're reading other people's, especially subject matter experts or someone sharing their story, it actually confirms, it reaffirms that your methodology, your ideology, you're not alone. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. So that, when you think about Chat GPT and everything else, you're like, no, there's nothing new. We have a similar, where the complexity comes in is our individuality, but generally we have a general sense of the same ideology. The person or whatever. We have a general approach to things. There's a general, and then the complexity comes with our own individual personality, our own individual spin on things. That's what makes it unique. But in a whole, we have a general. And so reading others' work just reaffirms you. And it also gives you a sense of security and confidence too, that somebody else, just like you said, Tiffany, that somebody else has gone through this. I'm not alone, right? I'm not alone in this. And so it's so important for us to read the work of others as well. So I love that, Lulu, that you shared that. And then also too, when you do all of this, you come into a place of self-mastery. That self-mastery is not about, and I always say this, and the reason why I keep repeating it is because learning transferred only comes through repetition, right? Perfection comes through repetition, practice. And so self-mastery is not about being perfect. Self-actualization is not coming into the total higher self. It is recognizing and owning. Self-actualization in its simplest terms is knowing who you are, owning all of that, and being cool with it. That's what self-actualization is. It's saying that I'm cool with me. I don't have to project anything on anyone else. And I know enough about me not to receive anything to be projected on me that I don't want. Right? So that's self-actualization. Self-mastery is a part of that. Self-mastery is saying that I'm not perfect, but I know who I am. I know what makes me tick. I know what ticks me off. And I know how to navigate. Like you said, I know how to get unsnapped. I know how to navigate through life's challenges, not perfectly, but enough so that I can stay out of trouble, right? And if I'm strategic enough, I know enough to get the results I want, to get out of life what I came to get. And so I love it. And writing is so important. If you don't want to be an author, if you never want to publish your work, I still say write it. Write it. It's in you, bring it out of you. And when you bring it out of you, that's when you can enjoy the fruit of it, because you could see it. You can read it back even to yourself if you don't want to publish. So I hope that's a nugget for someone who's out there who's like, I don't really want to publish. Well, don't, but still write. Still write, because it helps you to process what you've experienced in life. So I'm going to do a round robin, and I'm going to have you ladies close out. Leave the audience with your own thoughts, what you want to share with them. Be quick, because it is 4 of us and we are on the top of the half hour. So Teresa, you're up. We'll follow the same order, Lulu, and then Tiffany. And make sure you share with our audience where they can get in touch with you, contact you, support you in any way, and how you can support them. Teresa?
Okay. What I would leave the audience with is it's important to know yourself, to spend time with yourself. I think that's the most important thing, because in order to be authentic, you need to love yourself. And you could only love yourself when you know yourself and when you feel yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And then you could extend that love to other people. So if people want to work with me and they want to take a deeper dive into not only heart health, but with living authentically, with passion, with enthusiasm, and with authenticity, and using their heart on a day to day basis to help them with these things, I could be reached at my website, which is www.wellbeinggal, all one word, WELLBEINGGAL.com. And I look forward to hearing from people. Feel free to leave any on the comments section in my website. Feel free to leave any comments or things that you feel would be beneficial for your learning as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, it was a pleasure being here today. And I think what I want to leave with everyone is reject and rethink everything that you've been taught. We talk about authenticity, but authentic power is when we release the pressure that we receive from everything from the time that we were in our mother's womb. When we come out, we're just taught what to do, what to say, how to behave. And as an adult, take the time to say, who said it and why should I believe it? And start your journey with that. There's nothing wrong with being purposeful, rebellious. It's not a negative thing. We have words and they've been defined to be so negative, but don't be afraid to be that positive deviant where you're really searching and you're unveiling and doing the introspective work through your writing and revealing who you are at your core. Be vulnerable. Embrace vulnerability. Encourage yourself and say, I am not afraid to expose these really true thoughts, these really true emotions. I'm not ashamed of them. This is my experience. And most importantly, not only has it brought me where I am, but releasing it and going through that process is only going to take me higher and help me to ascend to my next level. And having said that, in November, we have an anthology. It's called Radical Ascension to the Next Dimension. And we actually have a retreat in the Dominican Republic. And you're welcome to come. It's going to be on November 20th. And you can reach out for me, get all the information. But here is why I encourage you to sign up and come, because you're really going to have a refresh, reset retreat, but you're going to have that opportunity to do a lot of journaling and writing. And it's not just about, oh, well, I don't want to write a book, so I shouldn't go. You should go because your refresh, your retreat, and your resetting so that you can, we're going to be at the end of the year, go into the next year. Actually, you'll be surprised what the writing will do for you. So you want to make sure that you inquire. It's absolutely going to be a fantastic, transformative refresh, reset, and just let it all out. But you're going to be able to do that through writing. What you do with that writing afterwards is totally up to you. But you will start the new year different than you are right now. Reaching me is real simple. JLB, Jacqueline Lulu Brown, JLB at revolutionascension.com. Just email me. I will email you the brochure, all the information. And if you want to chat, we can even have a conversation to answer any of your questions. But the brochure is fabulous. You'll have all the information that you need. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again for having me on the platform. really my words of wisdom, words of encouragement, get it out. Okay, because I'm going to take you to a health perspective here. I am a health coach. If you do not get things out, they will fester inside you and they will turn into something else later on. They will come as, so they will manifest as disease, things like that. So get it out. And like Lulu said, even if you do not have it published, you at least get out those thoughts, give yourself that much. So really just care for mind, body, spirit, unlock it, unleash it, and tap into these retreats because those are going to help you honestly to reset and just rejuvenate. So get it out. If you would like to tap into me and you'd like some ways to get it out, you want to learn how to just release some things, you can reach me at phoenixfitnessfanaticsmagazine.com or excuse me, at gmail.com. It's the Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine at gmail.com, or you can go to phoenixfitnessmag2021.com. You can also text me at 909-326-0099. Thank you so much.
You ladies are awesome. I am, like I said, Teresa, matters of the heart. We don't talk about our emotions. We try to suppress them because that's what we're taught to do. But your emotions drive everything. I don't care what nobody tells you. Your emotions they influence your decision making. They influence whether you regulate yourself at the moment or not, and get into trouble or not. Emotions are the driving force to what we do. And when we write, we talk about our emotions. And like you said, Tiffany, you got to get this stuff out. You got to get it out. If you eat and you discard it, then you got to get it out. When you put lotion on, it goes in to your body. It doesn't stay on the surface. There's a process to everything. And a part of that process is just process these emotions. That's why they came up with EI, emotional intelligence, because they know that emotions matter much. They are the principal thing. They are how you feel is your emotions. If somebody makes you feel bad, you're gonna feel bad. If somebody makes you feel good, you're gonna feel good. If you make yourself feel good, you're gonna feel good. And so these ladies have so much to offer. Lulu talked about her retreat and her anthology that's coming up. Tiffany talks about a retreat for both the men and the women. And Own It has so much. Own It has so much going on. So you just have to reach out to me and ask me, Marisa, what's going on? What's going on? So anyway, love you so very much. This has been great. Thank you so much, ladies, for taking time out of your busy schedules. I know we all have busy schedules. Thank you so very much for being here. And also, too, not rushing the conversation, allowing whatever, just being authentic, right? Being authentic, organic, and letting it just come out and just sharing from the heart, sharing from a place of authenticity. And so love you so very much. Till next week, we'll be back here, same bat channel, same bat station, and all that other good stuff. Have an incredible week. We love you very much. Go write, make the vision plain, and then go carry it out. Love you. We're out.